This afternoon, I met with the local fishing captain, Captain Josh Bodenheimer, a day after he met with President Obama. Captain Bodenheimer was one of 5 fishermen who got to meet the president yesterday, and today he took us out on his boat, the Super Strike, which he runs here out of Venice. We took a look at what's at risk in what many people say is some of the best, if not the best, sport fishing grounds anywhere in this country. So this is a 32-foot charter vessel. You've been doing this for 7 years. If this spill, if this disaster is as bad as it's going to be, what do you feel like your options are? What are you going to do if you can't do this?
Try not to even think about it at this point. I guess some sort of oil cleanup in the meantime, but I really don't want to, or have I ever had to think about doing anything else. It's what I've been doing. This is all I thought I'd be doing until I wasn't doing anything anymore. This is all I want to be doing. And that's a big thing that we're all concerned with, is being forced to change our lifestyle and being not able to do the things that we love to do and that we're lucky enough to call a job.
Yeah. In terms of the prospects here, you think about a landscape like this, which is the type of landscape that could be inundated with oil if the spill goes the way they think it's going to be. It's this type of marshland that's going to get hit first. If that happens, I mean, I can't imagine being out there trying to clean that right now if there was oil there. I try to imagine how long a disaster like this affects the fishery once that stuff comes ashore. Is there any way, I mean, is it the sort of thing that can effectively be cleaned? Does the fishery die indefinitely? How long does nature take to clean something like that up?
Basing off what you can read about the Exxon Valdez, I mean, there's still thousands of gallons of oil that show up there. And that's a big worry that we all have. How are they going to get all this oil out?
Yeah.
Is there even a chance to get all the oil out? And how much oil will be left behind if and when it starts getting into our coastline? This isn't going to be one of the areas that's first affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have a solid coastline. All of these coastal marshes that we have are all interconnected.
Yeah.
So if we start getting oil back up in our marshes, there's no telling where it's going to turn up and how and when we would ever find it.
In terms of the options that they've got right now for how to deal with this, I don't even want to call it a spill, because it's not like it's a confined thing that's spilled. It's
a flow.
Yeah. Charlie Chris today or yesterday called it an underwater volcano of oil, because it's not stopped. But in terms of the options that they've got for stopping it right now, they're talking about trying to cap it and sort of vacuum the oil up to the surface. They've also talked about putting the dispersants they used to use on the surface down undersea by the source of the leak and dispersing the oil that way. Do you have any sense of what that would mean for fishing, the fishery, the overall system?
I don't necessarily agree with them doing that. I mean, they said it would be the first time in U.S. history that they would try and disperse oil underneath the surface.
Yeah.
And that just kind of gives us a sense of out of sight, out of mind as far as what they think they're doing with the oil. What does that potentially do to our fishery? Having that much oil settling on the bottom, moving around, ruining the entire shrimp and crab industry. Yeah, they're going to have shrimp trawlers picking up trawls full of big chunks of dispersed oil that's settled on the bottom. And a big thing is, who's going to want to eat that? How are those guys going to sell their catch?
It seems like just driving down here, coming down Route 23 and seeing the industry and seeing the businesses and seeing just what's painted on people's trucks in terms of where they work, it sort of feels like the oil industry giveth and the oil industry taketh away. I mean, obviously it's the spine of the economy down here. It's fishing and it's the oil industry.
Right.
Even literally, the oil rigs providing a habitat for the fish that you catch as a charter boat captain. But then there's this risk. What do you feel like is the balance in terms of the good and bad of the oil industry down here? I mean, what's the future for Louisiana down here with oil?
This was human error that caused this. It could have been avoided. The risk shouldn't have been as high as it is due to the fact that they made the mistake. Had they not made the crucial mistake and done things differently, we wouldn't be being affected by this, and frankly, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now if BP hadn't let this happen.
When you when President Obama was here this weekend and you got to meet with him, what did you, I don't know if you want to let me in on your president fishing captain privilege, but what advice did you give him, or what did you tell him about what you're facing down here?
I more or less just listened. Two other guys raised questions to him that pretty much covered our main concerns, and that was capping the well, the overall health of our entire ecosystem, as far as what we're going to do once the oil's stopped and the entire cleaning process. And then another thing was, one of the other guys asked, was about us being reimbursed for the business that we're losing.
Yeah.
And President Obama expressed that he's going to try and make that as fast and as easy as possible for that cash flow to be moving. And he said that that was a really important aspect of it, which it is, because we're losing trips day after day. And on top of that, people aren't calling to book trips like they would be if the phone wasn't, I mean, if we weren't dealing with this spill, the phone would be ringing off the hook.
Yeah. As far as I understand it, after the Exxon Valdez, in order to come to an agreement where it'd be the oil company's responsibility for the cleanup, but something like that happened, they capped how much the oil companies are liable to pay out to people like you, to people whose livelihoods are destroyed by a spill like that. And they capped it pretty low. They capped it at $75 million. That's one of the things that they're thinking about trying to change now, de facto, in a panic sort of way.
They would have to. I mean, there's more than $75 million at stake with the amount of people that are going to be directly impacted by this.
Yeah.
Or a $6 billion a year seafood industry down here.
Do you think they should stop with the deep water drilling until they've got their safety stuff better under control?
I wouldn't necessarily say all of it has to stop, because there are platforms that have been in production out there for years that haven't had issues like that. But I would say that maybe they don't need to expand on other projects until other safety concerns and risks can be assessed.
Yeah. Captain Josh Bodenheimer on the Super Strike. I'm very happy to hear that you have a charter tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. So am I.
Where are you going to go?
Deep into the Gulf.
What are you hoping to catch?
Tuna.
I'm not only happy that you have that charter for your business, I'm really jealous that I'm not on it. And I hope it goes well for you.
Stick around. Come on with us.
Well, maybe if I quit my job and don't have other responsibilities, if I show up tomorrow, I've been fired, but I'm happy to be with you.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it.